there when I needed them. They came, they fought with me. We won the battle of Badr because of them. They are honorable people. And this verse of the Quran was revealed, which I read earlier. And it says, O you who believe, when it is said to you, make room in your majalis, in your assemblies, then make ample room. Allah will give you the reward. And it is said, rise up, then rise up. This is the behavior of those who believe. Now, granted, I don't think we'll ever have that problem here. I don't think our masjid will ever be that crowded. Inshallah, that will change. But these are moral, ethical characteristics the Prophet taught us to make sure we do not sway from what is right. Nothing in his initial message was about prayer, fasting, nothing. It was all about moral character. So having related these two narrations today and the hadith, I want us to think about what next? What is the best character you and I can exemplify in our life? So I chose one, just because I could. And the topic I chose is optimism, positivity. The reason I chose this is because the world we live in today tends to focus on the negative. People become pessimistic, people lose hope. And that is a very low characteristic of a human being. Islam focuses on optimism. I was listening to a lecture by Sheikh Hilli, and he described this particular characteristic of a person, positivity, in a beautiful way. But I want us to first think about, what is this optimism? Could optimism be getting from darkness into light? Could optimism be growing somebody's life from love and kindness? Could optimism truly change the color of someone's life? Could we look at life through a different lens and see what it does to somebody else, just to be uplifting and positive? That is the quality that the Prophet was known for. And Sheikh Hilli uses another verse in the Quran where he says, how can we use the Quran to practically learn about positivity? And he says, the first verse that comes to mind is the one that says, surely the friends of Allah, they shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve. And the Prophet was asked, who are the friends of Allah? And he described. He said, the friends of Allah are those who reflect Allah's attributes in their character. Allah's attribute? Really? 99 attributes of Allah? His generosity, His kindness, His forgiveness, His mercy, His love. All of these qualities of Allah should be manifested in a human being. That becomes awliya Allah, the closest to Allah, the best friend of Allah. How can we manifest this? That was his description. So I sit here and think, how? There can be so many ways we can do it, and the list could be long and laborious. But let us just focus on one or two things. One, who are the people you hang out with? Are they people who take you down, or are they people who lift you up? Just think about that. Because the people who you hang out with are the people who will influence you, who will rub off on you. And that could be the outcome of how you look at life. Do I look at life with hope, or do I look at life with pessimism? Woe is me. Life sucks. That can't be. Right? Hang out with the people who will uplift you. Secondly, helping others. Now, this is not a topic new for this community, because I know so many of us do so much volunteering outside of here. But I want to ask those of you who do on a regular basis, and I know you do, like every Saturday morning, show up at some place to box foods, to get food boxes, to feed the hungry, to package things, to go out in the streets to feed the homeless. What does that do to you? 8 a.m. in the morning, you're fasting. Tell me.
It makes you feel better.
It makes you.
Good
Why?
because you're helping others, and in that you get joy.
Yeah.
It's better to give than to receive, right?
Okay. The psychologists call that the, what do they call it? Helper's high. You get a buzz. When you help someone, you get a buzz. It's not for that person, it's for you. And that is something that stays in you. These are experiences that are positive in our lives. These are experiences that when asked of us, do you do enough for the needs of others? Yes, but do you know how much they do for me? That's all we have to ask. We have to just reflect on that action. Another thing we do positively is smile. So there was a story that I was reading, and there was a couple. They were having difficulty in their relationship, and they were having marriage counseling. And at some point, the wife said, I don't want to meet with the marriage counselor with him. I want to meet by myself. And the counselor said, fine, no problem. And she said, I don't know what to do. My husband is always complaining every day in and out. There's nothing I can do that can please him. The psychologist said, I tell you what, take a week. Don't do anything different in your life. Just smile. If he's complaining, smile. If he's late, smile. If he forgot the chore, smile. She said, okay, I may be able to do that. A week later, her appointment. He said, so? She says, I don't want a divorce. I don't want a separation. Our marriage is good. He said, what happened? She said, I didn't realize the smile was contagious. He was frowning, I smiled. He started to smile. It's simple things like that, right? It's simple things like that. Positive affirmation. So when we start to look at our own lives and we look at, are we doing what is right, counting our blessings? Are we taking care of our neighbor? And before we go to our neighbor, can we look at our own families? Are we being good to them? Are the sisters and brothers getting along? Are we taking care of people's children, our own, like, nieces, nephews? How is that in our life? Just look at it, that's all. Reflect on it. Maybe there's a correction that we can do. And then shukr. Allah's favorite word is shukr, shukr, shukr. When you do thankfulness and gratitude to me, I will give you that much more. He has guaranteed that. Sometimes meditation is a positive thing. And some of us think salah and meditation are separate. That's because we pray in the middle of the room with a lot of background noise. That cannot be meditation. Yet when we do meditation, we want a quiet room with the sound of waterfalls. Got news for you. Change your prayer room to that. Turn on the waterfall in your prayer room and do your prayer. That's meditation. We don't have to look very far. Life isn't that complicated. We just complicate it. That's because we are human. So now, when we look at the family of the Prophet, what examples did they leave us? I want us to go to just one, the Hadith al-Kisa. Hadith al-Kisa, which we recite often, is really the narration of the cloak, but it is an incident that happened where the Quranic revelation was revealed. So, every Quranic revelation was revealed circumstantially. It came at a certain time in a certain event. Hadith al-Kisa, the ayah of Tathir, came then. So when we look at Hadith al-Kisa, the narration of Hadith al-Kisa is through Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra, right? The daughter of the Holy Prophet. Muhammad. Because it is her words. She is saying that certain time, my father came, he asked for the blanket. But I want us to look at the words she uses. This is her words. She uses when she sees her children. The knock comes on the door. She opens the door. It's her firstborn. He's, 5? I don't know how old he was. Young, right? And this is the Prophet's time. How does she greet him? She says, Ya qurrata ayni Rasul. Oh, the eye of my father. Ya thamarata fuadi, the fragrance of my flower. She's talking to her 5-year-old. How do you think that 5-year-old will respond? Probably a huge, beautiful hug for his mom. And then he says, Inni ashummu indaki ra'ihatan tayyiba. I am feeling the fragrance of something beautiful. And then she says, yes, it is the fragrance of your grandfather. I mean, how do we talk like that? We don't talk like that. We don't. But it is something to think about, that the Hadith al-Kisa we recite at every program of ours. What are the lessons we take away? What is that influence that we can get from them? Do we really call our children apple of my eye? We may call our grandkids that. They can do no wrong. But our children, poor things, So maybe we learn from Bibi Fatima how to talk to our young people, because that's how they will respond, right? So, having said this on Hadith al-Kisa, today we have gathered here to really remember the beloved wife of the Holy Prophet, the first wife of the Holy Prophet. Sayyidah Khadija had many, many qualities, okay? Among them, the fact that she was a great recruiter because she hired him, okay? Among them was the fact that she made sure that in her capacity of trade, she never cheated anyone. That was just her integrity. Among her qualities were the fact that every time she knew that there was someone in need, she didn't even have to ask who. She would just give. There were places in the city. She was the queen of Arabia, the richest woman in Arabia. Now, she inherited the business from her father, but then she expounded it. So she made it what it became. So when the time came for her and her husband to live their life, the Prophet found in her exactly what the Quran talks about as spouses, that they will be your comfort and your garment. And that's what she was, his comfort and his garment. So that the time came when he announced his message and everyone thought he had lost his mind. She was the first one to say, I'm with you. I'm with you. And how did she say it? This is how she said it. She said that by Allah, Allah shall never subject you to indignity, for you always maintain your ties with those of your kin, with your relations. People, I cannot stress enough the relationship you must keep with your family. When we do dua and we say, oh Allah, remove the curtain so my dua can reach you, that curtain is your broken relationship with your family. If you don't get along with your own family, that curtain exists. So your dua stops right there. She says, you have always maintained your ties with your kin, and you are always generous in giving. You are diligent. You seek what others regard as unattainable. You cool the eyes of your guests, and others regard, and you lend your support to those who seek justice. Stay firm, my beloved, she said. Stay firm, for by Allah I know that He will not deal with you except in the most beautiful way. And I testify that you are the awaited prophet of the nation, and your time, if Allah wills, has come. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. This is the wife of the Prophet. How much support did she give him when he needed him the most? She uplifted him. She encouraged him. She gave away her entire wealth. And when her time for death came, where did it happen? In exile. She was the Malikatul Arab, the queen of Arabia, and she died in exile, poor, alone. not even a shroud. The Prophet had to take his amama. Bibi Fatima was 5 years old. And Bibi Khadija, when she died, it was, of course, the 10th of Ramadan. It was 10 years after the Prophet's mission. And, at that time, the people had not really embraced and understood Islam like she had. And the Prophet, when it came time to bury her, he said to Allah, this is the hardest thing I have to do. And Allah sent down this verse in Surah Al-Fajr, where Allah says, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna. O soul, you are at rest. Irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah. Return to your Lord, well pleased with him and well pleasing him. Fadkhuli fi ibadi. Enter with my servants. Wadkhuli jannati. And enter into my garden. This is how the Prophet was calmed by Allah at the time of the burial of Bibi Khadija. I ask you, O Allah, that this Prophet's soulmate and his beloved, when she passed away, the same year he lost his uncle and his guardian Abu Talib. And he declared that year the year of grief. In Arabic, Amul Huzn, the year of grief. So much so, he was unconsolable at times. And it was his daughter Fatima who would console him, which is why she earned the title Ummu Abiha, the mother of her father, because he needed the comfort at that time. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the wherewithal and the attributes, a little bit, that we may learn from these Ahlul Bayt, from the Prophet and his family. I ask Allah to protect our communities. I ask Allah to protect our ummah and to guide us and to give us this. Look at the people of Palestine. They are trusting in Allah. Every one of them, you hear them, Alhamdulillah, whatever Allah wills. So much confidence in Allah. I pray to Allah that Allah relieves them of their difficulties. I ask Allah to remove anybody who is here, who is sick, whose family member is sick, that He grants them cure and shafa'ah. Ilahi Ameen. I ask Allah to remove the worries of everybody here and their families, whether it be health or financial or anything else. That may Allah remove these difficulties. And I ask Allah to hasten the reappearance of our Imam al-Hujjah. But before that, we should be ready to receive him. Because if we are not ready, he is not coming. There is no justice yet unless we are ready to sacrifice, insha'Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
कहाँ ज़हरा ने रो रो कर खुदाई जाए मेरी मादर बसाया खुल्द को जाकर खुदाई जाए मेरी मादर कहाँ ज़हरा ने रो रो कर खुदाई जाए मेरी मिलादागे जुदाई मुझको इस सीने में हज़र अफ़सोस शफ़ी कोई नहीं सर पर खुदाई जाए मेरी मादर कहाँ ज़हरा ने रो रो कर खुदाई जा मेरी माँ जरा उठ कर के देखो तो मेरे बाबा की हालत को, खरे रोते हे नंगे सर खुदाई जाए, मेरी मादर कहाँ ज़हरा ने रो रो कर खुदाई जाए, मेरी मादर। सूरत मुबारकतुल फातिहा मा सलावत।
Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the whole community, I'd like to welcome everybody to the beginning of the month of Ramadan. May Allah accept all of our du'as, all of our amals, give us the opportunity to have ease and peace during this month, inshallah. We have sent out the email with all the programs. Inshallah, we'll get to see everybody more and more during these next coming weeks. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Auntie Shabnam. We are so blessed in our community to have so many wonderful speakers, and one like our own principal and our own aunt who has raised all of us here. May Allah continue to bless her. We thank you, Auntie Shabnam, for that speech. Inshallah, if anything we learned that we should all smile at each other this month, even though we might be hungry and fasting and thirsty. A small smile will go a long way, inshallah. Let's remember those that are no longer amongst us. I have a list of some marhumeen to remember for tonight. Marhum Abdul Razak H.D. Karmali, Marhuma Jenabai Manena H.D. Karmali, Marhuma Zainab Hussein Dharamsi, and all the marhumeen of the Karmali and Dharamsi families, as well as Marhum Abdul Hussein Babu Sherali Rashid, the Sherali Rashid, marhum of the Sherali Rashid family, the marhumeen of the Abdul Rasul Khaku family, the marhumeen of the Hussein Dos Muhammad Natu families, and also marhuma Banin Somji. Let's remember all of them, as well as the marhumeen from all of our families with the Surah Mubarakat al-Fatiha. We'll go straight into Maghrib, inshallah. We'll recite ziyarat at the end of namaz, inshallah. With a loud salawat, we'll welcome Maghrib, and we'll have iftar after Maghrib, inshallah. Muhammad.
Alhamdulillah.